Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not George, and you're watching me pug my way to 2.8k rating on a Retribution Paladin in Dragonflight Season 2. In today's episode, we're going to try and run some 20s on the Tyrannical Week. By the way, if you keep finding yourself coming back to these videos even though you're not subscribed to the channel, please do consider changing that. I'd really appreciate it. And if you like the videos, drop a like and let me know what you like about them. This would please the algorithm gods, and it would also just let me know what you like so that I can put more of that into the videos. We don't have any greens to repost on the auction house, so we're not going to be doing that this time around. We're just going to jump into doing a 18 Vortex Pinnacle. Now, if you're very observant, you might recall that I had a 19 Vortex Pinnacle at the end of last episode. So what the fuck happened to the 19 key? Well, I had a very unfortunate run where we ended up not timing it. And by not timing it, I mean actually people left and I left before the dungeon was finished because we were just struggling to complete it at all, let alone complete it on time. I would usually show this as part of the series. I don't have any issues showing something where the group doesn't do well. You've seen plenty of wipes of mine in both the Druid series and the Paladin series, but the issue was with audio. I had some new settings on my recording software, which were absolutely garbling the audio. Hopefully right now I sound okay because I haven't checked yet actually, which I probably should have done, but I do believe I've corrected the mistake. So if you notice that there's anything weird going on with the audio, like if it's too loud, too quiet, anything like that, just let me know. I'm still trying to figure out the best possible settings. I noticed in previous videos that there were points in the video where my voice would get super quiet, while in other parts it would sound normal like it probably does right now. So if people adjust their volume to hear me clearly at this volume, and then later on I start speaking much more quietly, they will struggle to hear me. Or if they adjust the volume to hear me clearly when it's quiet, I start blasting out their eardrums when I speak normally. This happens because sometimes I get up, I go take a break, I'll take a bio break, or I'll eat something, or whatever happens. I step away from the computer, then I come back, start recording. My face is in a different spot compared to the microphone, like it's not in the same spot, and then I sound louder or quieter than before. So hopefully I've managed to address that by adding some upward compressors and compressors and stuff like that, adjusting all of those settings. If that means anything to you, that's cool. Let me know if you know a solution to this. But if it doesn't and it sounds like mumbo jumbo, you can just ignore it. Anyway, we're gonna go and do this Vortex Pinnacle 18 after failing the 19, and hopefully this one doesn't suck. Okay, so we have a Ret Paladin and a Protection Paladin joining in. If I can get a Holy Paladin and another Red Paladin, I am taking them. Oh my god, it's happening. It's happening. We have a Holy Paladin. Should I actually wait for another Red Paladin to join the queue? Or do we take like the Imposter Druid? Never mind, the Druid said no. But we have a new hunter. I'm asking the group if they mind if I get another Red Paladin for the memes. What the hell? 4 hunters? I guess they're trying to get the guns? I don't know. But yeah, we've been waiting for a couple of minutes for another Paladin to show up, and none are showing up, so I'm just gonna grab, I don't know, this guy. 446. I mean, he's decked out. All of these guys are really geared, so it doesn't really matter. This person's not accepting. I had to delist because a person was AFK and not accepting anything. So we get another chance to maybe find a Paladin. Come on, Red Paladin, sign up. And we're going to take this Evoker. I don't want to keep the guys waiting too long. 4 Paladins and an Evoker walk into a Vortex Pinnacle. Sounds like the beginning of a really bad joke, but I think it's going to be a good one. I'm just going to give the Evoker my focus because all the other paladins can give themselves freedom. I'm going to interrupt this so that it follows along with us. I'm going to let the Evoker choose when he uses Bloodlust. Probably going to use it on the first boss. We got a knock up on the Cyclone. Oh, it's an augmentation Evoker. Even better. I'm going to give him freedom along with myself. I'm just going to drop my beacon here along with all my other cooldowns. I'm going to try and use the anvil and keep the stacks up. I'm horrible at using unused trinkets, and I'm going to keep saying it. In fact, I'm so bad that I have actually been considering switching to just passive trinkets. I'm going to bubble here because I'm tired of having to run out of these circles. I just want to do some DPS. Hopefully my bubble lasts long enough to not get clipped by that. Ooh, I got lucky. It did last long enough, just barely though. The Evoker is asking the healer if the healer needs a Bloodlust on the second boss, probably because he wants to use it earlier than that so that we can use it on the first and last boss instead. He says Bloodlust next, so he's probably going to use it on the second boss instead. So here, and then the second boss is when we're going to use Bloodlust. We're going to drop all our cooldowns here because we have Bloodlust rolling. We did lose our anvil stacks because I just suck at it. I'm just going to keep saying that because I really do genuinely suck at it. This isn't a bad time to use Bloodlust actually, considering the fact that we have a lot of stacks. We're going to do some off healing here, try to keep the Evoker up. He's squishy. Okay, we managed to get through it. No biggie. We do still have a bit of Bloodlust going, I think, so we can benefit from killing this group as well. This Gust Soldier is about to do his next thing. We're going to try and stun that. We didn't manage to. We're going to use a Shield of Vengeance because we're affected by the magic debuff that the Gust Soldiers do that we tried to prevent. He knew I was going after him, so he went after me. Try to cut it off at the source. We're going to stun this one. We actually managed to interrupt it. That wasn't intentional. I just wanted to stun him so that he couldn't get another one off before he died. But it just worked out perfectly right there. Tanky's going on to the next group after this circle ends. That's perfect actually because that makes a lot of sense. Never mind, he's just dragging. That's cool. as well. Using our beacon here. Just gonna try and use my beacon on cooldown along with the anvil. I'm just bad at doing it because I try to commentate and then I get distracted. Gonna blinding light here and interrupt those cyclones. They immediately started casting something else right after that, which made me like confused for a second. I'm going to use our Shield of Vengeance for this turbulence because it does a lot of AoE damage that I can't really avoid any other way. Using Divine Protection for this other one. It's good to reduce the amount of damage you take from the Cloud Princess because it's actually really hard to heal all that, especially on Fortified. On Fortified, it's kind of a must, and this is actually a good Bloodlust spot for Fortified, in my opinion. Okay, I was just looking behind me to make sure that we don't get any surprise electrocutions from the Tempest down there. Group is equally spread around the boss. That's really good because that way we can make sure we're looking at all the lurking Tempests. I got hit by one of those lightning orbs. I'm actually quietly freaking out in my head for some reason, and I'm not sure why. My brain just gets overloaded sometimes, even when there's nothing really bad going on. We're going to use a Shield of Vengeance here. Probably should have used it sooner so to mitigate more of this AoE damage that I can't avoid, but I was too busy talking about random stuff. I'm going to give Lay on Hands to the healer. We don't want anything bad happening to him. We're going to interrupt some of these lightning bolts to try and reduce the amount of damage being taken by the group. We do have another set of cooldowns coming in soon. There they are. We're going to drop them using Divine Protection here, so I reduce the incoming damage from this AoE phase. We are not going to use our Anvil here because I don't want to run into the issue of not being able to reset the duration of Anvil before we reach the next pack. Using another Shield of Vengeance here during the intermission because it does a lot of damage. Single target DPS feels a little bit low, to be honest. Could just be me, though. We're going to use another set of cooldowns here, actually. I think that's the call. Not ideal, probably. Yeah, we probably overkill with the cooldowns, but I don't know. It just felt like a slow fight. Okay, we're trying to get to the thingy thing as quickly as possible so we can jump over, because apparently you cannot actually use your anvil in the middle of the slipstream. So we're going to make sure that we land before we have to reactivate it. We're going to reactivate it right away. We didn't actually need to. We could have used it for damage, but the active damage from the anvil is so minimal that it really doesn't matter at all. Waiting for the tank to pull the next group before we use any sort of cooldowns. Not that I have many. I have just Wake of Ashes available. I'm not going to worry too much about the interrupts here because we have an augmentation evoker, so he's just going to interrupt everything over and over and over again with his 58 different AoE CCs. I did have to use Blinding Light there because the evoker just used all of his CC before they even started casting. I'm going to hold my cooldowns for the next group here. I'm going to actually try and heal myself because we didn't stop DPS for the bursting. That's a bit rough, but it doesn't matter. We survived. That's all that matters. But yes, I'm going to hold my cooldowns for the next group here because the next group is probably going to include the dragon, and the dragon's always a good idea to use cooldowns on. We have a stampede of paladins coming through. That's actually really cool looking. Okay, the tank is deciding not to pull the mini boss here yet, it looks like, or is he? I don't know. Yes, here comes the mini boss. We're gonna drop everything on this. We have an issue here where we are getting Blessing of Summer. Somebody pointed out that in my comments, or basically if you have Blessing of Summer and you use Avenging Wrath, you're actually not going to be able to see the cooldown on the action bars, which is very, very irritating, as you might imagine. But I did use my wings there, rest assured. I did also use my Beacon to the Beyond after my wings ran out because I'm a dum-dum. Okay, we cleared out the dragon without much issue. That's always nice. A lot of groups struggle on the dragon because tanks either overpull by grabbing too many assassins, or the healer can't out-heal the assassins along with the dragon because they don't manage their cooldowns well enough, or they have to use cooldowns for something else. But I'm glad this group doesn't have that issue. We're going to try and use our cooldowns. Okay, they were actually off cooldowns. Okay, Evoker's doing his big AoE CC thing. We have Blinding Light here available for those cloud bursts. We want to make sure those go down. We have 5 stacks on the animal now. We're going to interrupt this form thing that reduces their damage taken. We're making sure that the Evoker can keep casting. He keeps moving, even though I keep giving him freedom every time. I don't think he's noticing it. That's okay, though. Most people don't notice if you don't tell them. I'm not giving it to the tank because the tank's also a paladin. Ooh, we just accidentally... I think we accidentally pulled that dragon. I don't think that was intentional. I'm going to use a Shield of Vengeance here and try to survive. Ooh, this is kind of rough. I'm going to use Divine Protection here. Freedom for the Evoker. I do have some cooldowns here. We're just trying to survive. We want to kill the dragon. The rest of the trash is with us in the circle, so it's getting healed for quite a bit. I'm just going to interrupt that. That's the only thing I can interrupt. I have no cooldowns available here. I'm going to bubble just to make sure that I survive this. I don't know if it's a physical debuff or not, so I don't know if me giving Blessing of Protection to someone would actually protect them from that. Damage over time effect. Giving freedom again to the Evoker so he doesn't have to move. He's still moving, doesn't matter. Somehow we're making this work, and I think the somehow is actually the healer being an absolute fucking beast. So props to this healer. Nice job, Malfuron. You are kicking ass. If you're watching this video, that was amazing. Good job keeping us up through this. This is rough as fuck. I'm trying to make that a little bit easier by giving myself a nice big heal here. Tank is apologizing profusely because his avenging shield ended up hitting the dragon, and that's why we had to do that little bit of a struggle. Just letting him know that we can skip stars. I used blinding light there. We're gonna stun this. I don't have an interrupt. Okay, we got some more interrupts from the avenging shield. That's good. Or Avenger's shield. I'm not really sure what it's called. We're not gonna use our beacon here because things are, first of all, things are almost dead. Second of all, there's a boss coming up. Okay. We're going to have to wait for the healer's mana, which is unfortunate. We're going to try and reactivate the animal as late as possible. There was 1 second left. We are still waiting on anything. We're going to get Bloodlust on pull. Healer is healing instead of drinking. I'm losing my animal stacks. Well, fuck it. I'm just going to get rid of Anvil, dude. I fucking hate playing with Anvil. Anyway, we have all of our cooldowns available, except for Anvil, of course. We're just going to drop everything on top of his head because we have Bloodlust rolling. We have the wind coming in. That's also giving us more haste. So we're going to have haste out the ass. We're going to be doing a lot of auto attacks. We somehow failed to use Divine Reckoning. I don't know how that happened, but it did. We're just trying to use all of our cooldowns. Divine Reckoning is going to run out soon. So our wings, I'm going to use my Avenging Wrath before I step into this. I'm stuck in the downdraft. I'm not in the updraft or whatever you want to call it. I'm not getting the buff. I'm getting the debuff. We're going to start stacking our Anvil here in this fight. That's also okay. I still haven't used my beacon. I don't know. My brain's just in overdrive because Divine Reckoning or Final Reckoning didn't go off when I tried to use it. I don't know, man. I'm having a struggle this run. I don't know why. The run's going perfectly fine. Nothing's gone wrong so far. I don't have a bubble available, so I'm going to use my Divine Protection. We're going to step into this using Divine Protection because I'm going to take unavoidable damage from that knockup. We have another set of cooldowns. We're going to drop all of those. I'm going to have my Shield of Vengeance up for the next knockup that I have to take, giving freedom to the Evoker and myself, so I don't have to actually move in this boss fight. Shield of Vengeance, step into the knockup. I did have my bubble available, but Shield of Vengeance lets me actually do some extra damage to the boss, so it's the exact same effect, really. Ooh, do we res this? Yeah, I think we're going to res this Paladin. We do have 2 battle reses available, so using one isn't an issue of any sort. We're not going to use our next stack of Anvil because otherwise we're going to run out before we get to the next pack of trash. Using our 3rd set of cooldowns on this one. We're going to use Divine Protection and step into this. Boss is almost dead. That's good. Okay, other than the Paladin dying from some kind of mistake, we're doing perfectly fine on this fight. If all goes well, we might be able to keep our Anvil cooldown here. Let's see if the tank mounts up. 3, 2, 1. I ran out of Anvil anyway. Fuck, man. I fucking hate the Anvil, dude. It sucks so fucking... It's in boss fights, like in raids, it's amazing. I love it. But in dungeons, it's such a pain in the ass to keep it up. I'm just not good at it. And I just let, like, complaining about that, I let the fucking rally go through. This is such a shit show of a run for me. Like, on my end, I feel like I'm doing very poorly. Oh well, I'll shut up and just try to play as best I can now, instead of complain about the Anvil every 20 seconds when it runs out or something. But yeah, what I did, the mistake I did there was I could have stunned the heal from the Adept, and I could have used my kick on this guy. The reason I would use my kick on this guy is because I can't actually stun the Executor. Alright, Stampede of Paladins again. Let's go. It looks like maybe I can keep my animal stacks here. That's kind of nice, I guess. Okay, we're looking at the Temple Adept. We want to interrupt him no matter what he does. I'm just going to stun him right here. Fuck him. You don't get to cast anything, buddy. We can skip stars here because we pulled the other dragon, so that'll be nice, because those stars are a bit annoying to kill because they're so spread out. Although I guess balanced druids fucking love the stars. I don't know. I can tell you I don't. At least not this first group of stars. Hopefully we get into combat quickly. Quickly. I had to say Anvil, sorry, because I was running out of stacks. I really don't want to run out of stacks. It fucking sucks to run out of stacks. Complaining. Looking at the Executor to interrupt that. We're stunning the heal, and we're good. I'm not going to use any cooldowns here because these guys are basically almost dead. And then I'll use my cooldowns on the next group, and then I'll have time to recover the cooldowns on the little stars, and then I'll have my cooldowns for the boss again, and whoop-de-doo-dah. We're looking at the star-marked Executor of the Caliph, and we're just going to drop absolutely everything on these bastards, because all of it is going to recover by the time we get to the boss. I use Shield of Vengeance here. Nobody interrupted the other guy's thing. We're going to interrupt this guy, and we're going to battle res the healer here, because otherwise it might be a little bit hairy. Dropping my beacon on this group as well. That will not recover by the time we get to the boss, but I don't really care. I'm going to use my Anvil because I think I can get back into combat before we run out between this and the little stars before the boss. I'm just going to kick whatever rally I can see. This, it's actually, if you can only kick one rally, it's better to kick the one that has more health. I coincidentally managed to do that. This guy is just dying to the Minister of Air. I don't know what the deal is with that, but that means I'm going to run out of my fucking Anvil because I have to sit here and res him. I'm going to execute a bubble drop maneuver here. Bubble drop. I'm not going to use any cooldowns here. Maybe maybe a little wake of ashes wouldn't hurt, you know? I can't help myself, man. I need to push a button when I see these guys. They're so neatly stacked up and beautiful. I have to, tasty little morsels. But yeah, fuck animal gameplay. I think I'm gonna switch to the accelerating sandglass for the next dungeons. But yeah, we don't have Bloodlust available for this boss because we're running through the dungeon a little bit too quickly, and I think it's perfectly fine to not have Bloodlust for this boss. It's not particularly hard as long as people actually, you know, jump and move into the zone and kill the ad quickly enough. As a paladin, I have a very long range, so I don't really care about having to move away from him while he does this. As a fury warrior, I fucking hate this fight because I have to use heroic leap, stay on him as long as I can, and then use heroic leap to get into the zone. That way I can maximize my damage as a fury warrior. I'm mentioning fury warrior because that's what I played for the most part in season 2. Let's switch over to the Skyfall Nova. Once the boss is on top of it as well, we're going to go ahead and drop all our cooldowns so they hit both the boss and this. Unfortunately, I have to use Blessing of Freedom in the middle of that. It's unfortunate, but what can you do? Dropping our beacon on top of the boss while we still have wings. It's not ideal to use beacon while Final Reckoning is still up because you want to use all your globals to make sure that you do as many holy power abilities as possible. We are looking pretty rough on the health department. Okay, I was a little bit confused there because I was looking at people's health bars and a little bit freaking out, but we've recovered. All's well. He was so kind as to draw the triangle right next to him so we can stand on the little pyramid it makes without having to really move much. We have another set of cooldowns coming in here in a second. I'm going to use it on the boss and the ad at the same time. That way I can get the most damage out and also kill the ad more quickly, which is what you want to focus on, just making sure you kill the ad as quickly as possible. Looking out for that chain lightning. We don't want to get hit by that. Somehow managed to get multiple people hit by it. I did manage to get away from it, so that's good. Reactivating the animal for our third stack of this boss fight using Divine Protection because I don't have Field of Vengeance. I used it earlier. I had to use some kind of defensive there, otherwise I could have been toast, because what you should save your defensive for is the overlap of chain lightning and the ad being out at the same time. The rest of the time you can kind of get away with not using anything. I do have my bubble available here, so we're just going to bubble and stand in this, and then when he moves over it's fine. It looks like the tank is also trying to do the same thing to get the maximum amount of damage out. I had bubble up, so I didn't use my Blessing of Freedom. I used it a little bit late, and we're just going to drop everything for style points on him when he dies just there. Not a bad run. Didn't get any loot, but not a bad run. It was a really good run, I feel like, especially considering that it's an 18. We now have a 19 Uldaman Legacy of Tyr. That's something we'll have to run to get our first 20 key. I've been hosting them rather than trying to join parties because it's so hard to join parties as a DPS, but I did feel like I kind of made a bunch of mistakes this run. I can't really explain it. I think it's more like inside of my head than in the actual gameplay. Like gameplay wise, I don't feel like I did anything that, you know, caused problems for my group. I don't think I missed any important kicks. I don't think I missed anything like a mechanic where I messed someone up by putting, I don't know, chain lightning on them or something. I think the worst offense that I did was just stepping into a ball on the first boss, which wasn't a huge issue because I had lay on hands and I had everything I needed to survive that, regardless of the healer's ability to heal me at that point. But I just feel like I wasn't performing my best the entire run. Although actually now that I look at it, I had 141, we had a fucking augmentation evoker, that's why I had that much DPS. But still, I feel like that's a decent chunk of DPS. I don't know, I just feel like I could have done more. I think it's, what's really bothering me is probably this goddamn anvil. I fucking hate the anvil. Actually, I hate it so fucking much that I'm going to just replace it. I'm gonna straight up just replace it. We're gonna use the Mirror of Fractured Tomorrows, and I don't give a shit. Could go for the Accelerating Sandglass because it's a passive trinket. It's not good to use 2 active trinkets, but this one's a 3-minute cooldown. The beacon's a 3-minute cooldown. Actually, it's a 2-minute 30-second cooldown. What the fuck? Oh, that kind of works out, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We're going to use Mirror of Fractured Tomorrows because I know for a fact it's better than Accelerating Sandglass. I came over here to upgrade it, but I don't have an aspect crest. I just have 12 fragments. Derp. Well, anyway, we're going to use the rank 4 one instead of our anvil. That's not ideal, but we're going to do it anyway. And then we're going to make a macro. There it is, our Final Reckoning. Going to cast Avenging Wrath. Then it's going to use, we're going to click that. Somebody pointed out to me that you can just use the slot number to make it use this slot. I don't know the slot numbers by heart, and I can't be fucked looking them up, honestly. And I also prefer this because this way, I know it's going to try and use this. And if I change my trinket, it's not going to try to use the other trinket without me remembering to fix my macro. So I'm just going to use this instead, and it's going to work just fine. I'm going to save that, and that's it. We're now going to use the Mirror of Fractured Tomorrows on cooldown whenever we drop our Final Reckoning, which is every 1 minute or so, give or take like 10 seconds between pulls and stuff, or if I'm saving it for the next group or something like that. And that's guaranteed to happen and give us the full effect instead of the anvil just falling off in stacks because we have to move between boss fights or whatever, or I just fucking forget because I tend to forget. I don't know, I'm just bad at using the anvil, and it frustrates me, and I don't want to be frustrated while playing the game. I just want to play the game. Ideally, you know, I would keep the anvil stacks up, but honestly, looking at the damage I've been able to do with the anvil, I kind of would have preferred Mark of Dargrul even on Tyrannical Week, so this might just be straight up an improvement. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't feel like there's going to be necessarily a big change in the DPS scene in details, but what's going to happen is I don't have to worry about the fucking anvil anymore, so we're going to remove that keybind completely. I just don't care anymore. In raids, we're still going to use anvil because single target, that thing is just the king. Nothing out DPSs it. I think even Beacon does less damage. Actually, that's probably wrong. I think Beacon just out DPSs because it's fucking busted, but the anvil is still really, really good. So Beacon and anvil is going to be what we do in the raids or on Dawn of the Infinite bosses, and Mirror Fracture Tomorrows, or if we get a Mark of Dargrul hero tier, is what we're going to use in Dungeon Plus. Dungeon Plus? Mythic Plus. I was going to say Dungeons, but I meant Mythic Plus, and then it combined into Dungeon Plus. But yeah, let's go do some more Dungeon Plus and try to do the first plus 20 Dungeon Plus Dungeon Mythic. What am I even saying? Oh boy, I just went and ate a spicy curry type meal, chicken, some rice, and curry sauce with coconut oil, and it sounds nasty, but it is divine, with little bits of like peanuts, tiny little bits, not chunks of peanut, just tiny little bits of peanut through it. It was just That is, however, not what you are here for. Let us start making a group for Uldaman Legacy of Tyr. If you didn't know, the portal to Uldaman it's back here at the Obsidian Enclave. Yes, I'm pointing it out again. Viewers that have seen previous episodes already know this because I see this every time I have an Uldaman run, but I just keep noticing that people don't know where the portal is, and I figure if you're a new viewer and you're seeing it for the first time, maybe I just taught you something. If not, well, I'm sorry. That is redundant information. The only reason I really share it because I had no idea that that was a thing for like my first 10 or so Uldaman runs in the beginning of the season, and I just, my dumb ass, because I was playing Alliance, I just went to Stormwind and then flew all the way to here like an absolute moron. So if I can spare someone the same fate, I will by sharing this information. 196, 197, 198, 199, 200. I have killed 200 of these broodlings while waiting for the Uldaman queue. Not a single person has even applied to join. I'm not saying nobody joined. Not a single person has even applied to join. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and bump up our Underrot and our Neltharus to 17 and see where that gets us. If you think I'm joking, I actually have killed 200 of these whelps because 164 of these gray items and 36 of these gray. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm about to get a tank. If I get a tank, people are going to want to join. Oh, please, please, please. I was about to give up. We're going to delist and relist so that the group shows up higher up in the list because it's a fresh listing. Okay, I'm not giving up hope yet. We do have a tank that makes people much more interested in your group. Okay, that took for fucking ever. Even with a tank, and at one point we even had a healer as well, and DPS were not queuing up. That's the first time I've ever experienced the fact that I have a tank, a healer, and I'm missing 2 DPS, and nobody is applying. I didn't know that was possible. I believe nobody in the group has actually timed a 19 Uldaman, so this is going to be interesting, but I trust my friends here can pull through. This will be the first run where we're running Mirror Fracture Tomorrows instead of the Anvil, so we'll see how it performs. At least mentally there won't be as much of my attention being taken away by the damn Anvil. Mirror Fracture Tomorrows coming in strong on the first pull though. I missed an interrupt there on the Chain Lightning. Those 2 tunneled undoing DPS, but it's okay. We're warming up. I had a bit of a break here for a couple of hours while I ate, and then what feels like an hour just putting this group together. Kick that Chain Lightning to keep it moving. Gonna use Beacon here once they're all stacked up. Looks like this is it. We're going to... Oh, never mind. I dropped my stun for no reason. The warrior did a shockwave. Didn't think he would use shockwave. Most warriors don't have that in their kit, at least from my experience. You know, they usually go for full damage. Tank's health bar is literally not moving. Never mind, as I say that, it starts dropping down. Ooh, I don't have anything for that. Didn't have a kick or anything. We're suffering a bit from the bursting, but we're gonna get the tank's health up, and we should be fine. Lay on hands the tank. Never mind. Maybe I should just trust that the blood DK can stay alive. They tend to be good at that. I asked the tank if he was going to pull the second boss first, and that is indeed what we are doing. We're going to do that. We're going to use our drums. We don't have a bloodlust class in the group. We're going to stun this Chain Lightning. I did tell the tank that he doesn't have to move because I'm going to keep using the Blessing of Freedom on him. We're going to just grab these 2 basilisks back there so we don't have to deal with them when we come back to do the boss. We're going to have a hell of a big pull here. I'm going to have my cooldown soon. Failed to interrupt anything here. That's a bit of a my bad kind of moment. We're going to interrupt the stone spike just to interrupt something. Use my shield of vengeance here because I'm a bit worried about taking a bunch of damage. We don't have anything to interrupt that, but the shockwave from the warrior takes care of most of it. We have Avenging Wrath up now, so we can actually use all of our cooldowns in sync. We're gonna try and burn this group down because it's a hell of a pull. We're gonna wipe. Did I kill us by pulling the 2 basilisks? Maybe. Is the tank offline? It very much looks like the tank's offline. Are you kidding me? I waited for almost an hour to do a fucking run and then the tank goes offline? Oh man, come on, give me a break. What am I supposed to do here? I just hope I'm not in combat. I'm gonna stand over here. Please don't notice me. Warrior, stay the hell away from me. I don't want to die. Oh no, I am definitely in combat. The health bars are blue. I guess we all just run out. Are they gonna go after me now? Yes, they are. I'm gonna shield the vengeance and walk out. Man, I don't know. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Tank's still offline. Oh, we're leaving party. So much for my 19 key. That's so much fucking time wasted. Holy shit. I don't know if I should do the 18 key or if I should just... I'm gonna go and try and bump up my rating with the Underrot and the Neltharus. I don't know, man. Today is just not a good day for higher keys. I tried my first 19, which was the VP, and that failed miserably, and I couldn't even record it properly. And then I tried the 19 Uldaman. That went to shit. We're just gonna try to join somebody's Underrot and Neltharus and see if we can bump up our rating, and maybe then we can host our 18 key, push that, all that good stuff. We are actually going to drop the Uldaman down to a 17, like so, and that is gonna let us go into a different 17, like an Underrot or a Neltharus, and re-roll that into some dungeon that people don't absolutely hate, because I think a lot of people hate Uldaman for good reason. There's a couple of really annoying bosses there, and the trash is definitely not fun in some parts. But anyway, I'm gonna go try and join a Underrot or Neltharus to bump up these clears. Well, that was extremely quick. We just joined the group pretty much immediately for a 17 Underrot. Let's go. I told the group that I will be giving the tank freedom every entangled, so he doesn't have to move, and he says, poggers. Alright, getting started with the Underrot 17. I think the highest I've ever done was a 9. We're gonna stun this immediately. I don't want to fuck around with that. We are looking at the Blood Priest because we want to interrupt the thing it casts at about 50% health, which is the Gift of Gahun. If you see it casted like that really quickly, that means that the big lady actually did a war cry. The war cry is considered an enrage effect. People with a soothe can remove it, so like a trank shot or a druid with a soothe. Ooh, we were struggling to stay alive through the bursting. That was rough. I used a Shield of Vengeance there, probably too little too late, but I mean too little too late. I survived, that's all that matters, but still, that was pretty rough. Just looking at the Blood Priest again to make sure I interrupt to that bullshit thing that it casts. There we go, I got it. Nice, nice, nice. Lots of people going down. People standing in the frontal from the big lady. Okay, we got a kick on the Darker Constitution. Darker Constitution is a full heal from any amount of health to full health, so you want to make sure you kick that, otherwise you have to kill something twice, or like 1.5 times. Depends on how much health it was missing. The Gift of Gahun actually makes something immune to death for 20 seconds, I believe, so you definitely want to kick that. I'm looking at the priest here. I might actually switch to the Dark Spirit if I see nobody is kicking it. Nobody. Okay, the shaman took care of it. That's good. We're gonna kick the Gift of Gahun. That's good. Looking for the Darker Constitution. Darker Constitution won't even get cast. Very good. Okay. This group, I like this group. Heals are a bit low. Like very low, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Oh, 418 item level healer there. That explains certain things about how things are going with the bursting, but we just have to be a bit more careful. I'll try to be mindful of that. I'm not very good at being mindful of bursting. We're going to interrupt this. It looks like the shaman tried to interrupt it as well. We got to move out of the creeping rot unless it creeps up on us. Giving the tank Blessing of Freedom. Tank is also kicking. He's going to do Death Grip that thing. We're waiting for our Avenging Wrath to come off cooldown. When I hear that little blip, we're going to be dropping all of our cooldowns. Very good. And the boss goes down right as the Blood Mirror was about to go down as well. Nobody down on the boss. That's good. We had some deaths to trash because of bursting. We have a undergeared healer, so that'll keep happening probably because there's very big pulls that happen in this dungeon, especially on Tyrannical. We have some Diseased Lashers here. In my experience as a tank, that means that we can skip 1 or 2 mobs later on. It really depends. You don't usually pull these unless there is like unless they're right there in that point of the patrol. You can also just wait out until they leave. If you're like, if it's fortified, it's worth, you know, potentially skipping them. But then later on, if you don't skip them, you can usually skip one of the defilers later on in the dungeon. I again am not paying attention to the fucking bursting stacks, so we lost the shaman. We're gonna take it slow. I think we're gonna kick that. Yeah, we're just gonna wait on the shaman and slowly DPS through this. Ooh, that guy's looking low. Do I need to actually heal him? him? I think I will, just with some stuff. I'm a little bit worried here. Wasted my kick there because somebody kicked it right before me. I will stun the disease lasher if I have to. Okay, gonna single target this one. Oh, there's gonna be at least 2 stacks of bursting there. I have a 27-second stun. That's from the disease. I'm gonna bubble, otherwise I'm going to die here. I should have stunned the fetid maggot because the fetid maggot took out the healer. I think the healer is very new to the game and very undergeared, and a group of his friends are dragging him through some dungeons. We're gonna blinding light this to interrupt the fetid maggot. Oh boy, I knew there was something wrong with this. I got invited way too easily. This is gonna be a hard run. We're gonna... Okay, the death grip interrupted the fetid maggot because I didn't have anything left. My stun is still on cooldown. We're waiting for the... We're not waiting for shit. We're gonna heal the shaman. I can't heal the shaman. The shaman's dead again from fucking bursting because nobody stops DPS. I did that time at least. We're gonna kick this, otherwise it's gonna kill us. I am affected by a disease again. There's nobody who can dispel me because druids can't actually dispel diseases. I'm about to die to this. I don't know, man. This is not looking like a group that's able to clear things. The blood DK is out DPSing everybody else because everybody else keeps fucking dying. Maybe we should stop pulling until people that are dead actually catch up and are able to help us with everything. I don't know. This is looking like a very, very rough run. Quickly switching to Crusader Aura just to get there a little bit faster. Thought of it a bit late, but late's better than never. Why am I taking so much damage? And why is none of it being healed? All I have is wild growth on me. That's okay, I guess. Why am I singing? I think it's the stress. I'm going to help the healer stay alive. Healer only has 403,000 health. Like, bursting 3 stacks and more is just going to absolutely rip him a new one. We have 2 blood swarmers. One is on me. I'm okay with that. I'll use divine protection to reduce some of the damage being done. I'll interrupt the scream because it's a silence and it's a big AoE damage source. Okay, smaller pulls. Let's take it easy. Never mind. The blood DK is pulling more. I'm careful not to use judgment here because I don't want to kill it, first of all. Second of all, I don't want my judgment flying off and hitting the boss. That would really, really suck. That is slowed. And it is now kicked. Okay. That's good. I'm gonna blinding light here. I don't know. I'm gonna stun the fetid maggot when he does his bullshit, which is right now. I want to kill him before he does it again, giving the tank freedom so that he doesn't have to move. He can keep him stacked. He doesn't have to worry about that. Am I giving the tank freedom? I think I am. 3 stacks. I'm not DPSing. The rest of the group doesn't give a shit. We're gonna try and keep the healer alive so he can keep the rest of us alive. We're just gonna drop beacon on this motherfucker. We're gonna bait things into this rib cage. Tank is standing here as well. That's good. There's a charge. We're going to move. We're going to try and remove as much of these as we can. We missed one over there. People are helping out. That's always good to see. Just going to make sure we don't stand in front of the boss because he's going to do his indigestion. We're going to try and step on these little things that dropped on top of it. The boss is about to start running towards the center with its tantrum. I'm going to use my divine steed to try and go deal with that as soon as he starts dropping and puking up these. We got a movement speed buff from the druids, so we're going to try and remove these that nobody else is near, like this. Okay, we're going to give the tank freedom so he doesn't have to worry about that. Charge is coming down the middle. Hopefully it doesn't kill anyone. Almost took out the druid healer, it looks like. Okay, we have some extra movement speed. We're trying to stack the charge here. No, it's indigestion. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, but we're now trying to stack the charge, so I'll come back into this. Camera's going crazy because I'm bumping into the rib cage. Charge should be coming through soon. We didn't see those 2 ticks, so we didn't stomp them out. We'll just try to blow them up here in a second. There we go. Gonna hit the boss. Freedom again for the tank. We're gonna grab these that are back here because I'm closest to them. We'll use our divine steed to try and make it over there. Looking at the healer to try and give him mana if necessary. Trying to stomp out the rest of mana. Give him healing is what I meant to say. Charge coming in soon, it looks like. Or is it indigestion? It's a charge. Good. I managed to sack up for the charge to be baited in there, or at least increase the chances of it being baited there. Freedom for the tank again. Oh boy, this is a lot easier than the trash, actually, now that I think about it, because nobody has died yet. So the healer's good at this bit, but he's not very good at dealing with bursting because he doesn't put up hots on everyone right before the bursting goes off. In other words, right before the enemies die. Should we stay on the boss? I believe we stay on the boss with 1.5 million health. I'm going to just stay right on top of it. I'm not going to use my cooldowns though because we need that for the next group. We're letting the blood ticks come in because this is about to die and then the blood ticks go away. Just making sure we heal the... we couldn't heal the healer. I'm going to res him. Luckily, I don't have animal stacks to worry about anymore, so I don't give a fuck if somebody dies and I have to wait for them. Okay, the other druid was faster on the res than I was. Just trying to top everyone off with my own healing so that the undergeared healer doesn't have to worry about it. We're looking at the death speaker in order to interrupt if necessary. And there's the wicked thing. We're going to use our Wake of Ashes here because it actually stuns undead, if you didn't know. And these are all obviously undead. We're going to kick that. Never mind. We have a bunch of CC coming in and a silence from the druid. Well, one of the druids. The DPS druid, it seems like. Can rest of druids even have that? I think they can have it. Oh, we have a lot of hots coming in. The fucking shaman. The fucking shaman could heal himself for once. Oh man, I'm getting salty because this is too fucking hard of a run because they're trying to gear their undergeared friend. At least I'm assuming they're a pre-made. I don't know. My DPS is suffering for it though because I spend half of my time just trying to fucking heal. I'm gonna try and keep the healer alive. There's no reason to do that actually because he's fucking Tank saying with the kick. He said first from Star I should kick, so I'm going to kick the first thing that the Star casts as soon as I see it. Kind of tunneling on that. It was the curse. That's good. So one curse isn't coming through. We have shadow bolts. Somebody fucking kick it. Okay. Another curse and got kicked. Very nice. That's a nice part of them being a pre-made. They can communicate that on voice chat probably. Hopefully we manage to kill this before they have to do that whole thing again. I will focus my kicks on the curse. I don't care about the shadow bolts, to be honest with you, because I don't think they would wipe us out. Then again, with this healer, who knows, man. Good thing we have a blood DK. He can take care of his own health bar. We're using bloodlust on this boss. That's an interesting choice, but I guess it's not as bad as it could be. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but you know, whatever. We're gonna try and take out as many of these as possible. We can still keep DPSing the boss thanks to our ridiculous ranges as a paladin. We did get hit by upheaval, but I don't really care. We're going to step in this and we're going to give ourselves a cleanse so we get rid of the dot because it's a disease. We can bubble run if need be, so we're going to use the bubble and run through a bunch of these if necessary. We didn't get upheaval. That means we can continue auto attacking and DPSing. That's good. It looks like we're going to take care of all of the mushrooms, so I'm not too worried about it. I don't see a single one left. Just try to make sure I avoid these. Looking if anybody has a disease so that I can get rid of it. Nope, nobody got a disease. That's good. Upheaval coming in. We're going to drop it. I don't know, like here looks like a good spot. I don't know. I couldn't really figure out where the highest number of rooms was. We're going to just quickly grab this one and cleanse ourselves. Hopefully nobody gets a bunch of stacks of the disease. I'm going to stand over here. I can't actually use my abilities at that range. That is a bit much even for a paladin, but it's okay. Boss is almost dead. I don't think we're going to get another set of mushrooms that we have to worry about. We just have to DPS them down. We're going to use Shield of Vengeance here because we're going to get hit by unavoidable AoE. Very good. Healer went down. Do we need the healer for the 3.5 million? They are battle resing him, so I guess we do. He does about as much as HPS as you would expect. We're going to cleanse that shaman because he has 2 stacks. We have upheaval on us, so we're just going to stand over here. The boss is dead, so it's not a huge deal. Okay, there's no mushrooms to avoid. If the red mushrooms, the big ones, are still here, do keep an eye out for that because they... Oh, what the fuck is this? What the fuck? Oh, never mind. I guess we're just going to skip these. That makes sense. I was confused for a second because usually people just pull this worm and skip this guy. Gotta look out for those tentacles that come out of the ground. 2 tentacles on me. I'm just going to move away from them. Maddening thing going backwards. Balanced druid avoiding it. All is well. I have to say, not having to worry about anvil has been very, very nice. Oh, this is... I can tell you right now we're going to die here. Not from the mobs. We're going to die from bursting. 100%. We did manage to stun them right as that went off. Oh, these are all going to die at the same time. I'm slowing my DPS just to remove... I don't know what to tell you. I should have been healing, honestly. I'm going to stun this. One of the pulses of the Dark Echoes did go through. Doesn't matter. Oh, man. I'm not going to use my cooldowns here. I'm going to save them for the next group. And we're going to drop absolutely everything on them. We're hugging to the right here so we don't pull that worm. Hopefully nobody gets feared into that worm. I'm going to drop all our cooldowns, including the beacon here. I got feared. I'm going to bubble immediately because I just wasn't paying attention. I was trying to use all my cooldowns. All right, we absolutely destroyed this group. I'm pretty happy about that. It is tyrannical, so... yeah, shouldn't be too surprised, especially if I drop all my cooldowns into it. We do have percent. Very good. Nice route, tank. I think we were pretty much perfect on percent. We're going to try it off. Never mind. We're going to get yoinked downstairs. Now, the true test of every Uldaman pug. Are we going to give the healer a chance to get mana? We really should, because there's going to be a lot of healing for him to do. We are giving him time. Good. Okay, we have 10 minutes to do the last boss. We can wipe once or twice and still do it. I think we're good. I think we're going to time it. I don't know. I was very skeptical at the beginning because we just kept dying to bursting over and over again. It was kind of embarrassing. I'm going to drop all our cooldowns here because we have them available. No reason not to. I'm going to go step behind him. Here, the idea is you just keep baiting into the zones. We're going to turn on friendly health bars just to see if everyone's doing it. They really fucking are. Holy shit. So the pre-made knows what's up. The healer is just undergeared. That's all that it is. A spore popped up right on top of me. We're trying to take care of that. Trying to make sure everyone gets inside of that. We did cleanse. We're going to give lay on hands to ourselves like fucking morons. I was trying to give it to the shaman, not myself. I was relatively healthy at that point. Or completely full health. I just fucked up. That's okay. We'll deal with it. We can move out of that. Oh, fuck, man. Looking at people's health bars is making me very fucking nervous here. We have 2 battle reses. Reincarnation has been used by the shaman. We're gonna off heal here. Just that's all I can fucking do. How do we not have... I think the person with the fucking circle died. That's why we're running out of things. What the fuck? This is so stressful. This is so stressful. I have the thing. Please stack on me. We're going to go to the right, trying to keep everyone inside of it. Someone dipped out of it. I don't care. You can get dispelled manually. The second set of ads coming out. Why am I stressed out? Oh, right, because this is fucking hard. My DPS is suffering for it because I'm just so stressed out. Okay, second set of ads is dead. I'm going to drop all our cooldowns here. Trying to stack in the circle. Okay, very good. We removed some of those. We're going to bait into this area. We have spores coming from there, and I would not be able to tell you why. This is weird. Everything about this fucking fight is weird. While expulsion coming through. Trying to stand on top of other people to give it to them. The little circle that I had on myself that removes the damage over time magic effect. I don't know. I'm doing 65k DPS because I can't relax for even a second. Oh, what the fuck, man. Holy fucking shit. We plus 2'd this by brute force. By brute fucking force. What is that? Oh, a shield. Okay, I'm okay with a shield. I still have prot spec set up for some reason. Alright, because I was going to do Uldaman, and the only thing I can get from Uldaman is prot gear, but that's okay. We now have a purple shield instead of a green shield for if we ever decide to go protection, which I probably won't. Let's re-roll our key. We actually got a Neltharus, and I need a Neltharus. That's good. I don't know. Maybe I was freaking out a bit too much there at the end. I can't even tell you why I was so stressed out. I think because things like health bars were low and I couldn't really do anything about it. I don't know. It's just my brain sometimes. This is an insight into my brain for sure. I should send this to my therapist and be like, look at me freaking out. I can't do anything about this and I'm freaking out. We're going to use the Dalaran Hearthstone because my regular Hearthstone is still on cooldown. We're just going to teleport around. Enhancement Shaman damage is looking juicy though. Let me just vendor the rest of this crap that I have in my inventory, and then we're going to go and try and do a Neltharus. Since I have my own key, I can host, and I don't have to carry anybody's undergeared healer friend. Alright, while we look for people to join the group, we are actually going to go over here and figure out what we want to upgrade. So I can upgrade my gloves, my boots, or this new trinket that I'm using. If I upgrade the trinket, I get 20 strength. The boots give me 16 and a bunch of other stats, crit versatility. The gloves give me crit haste. I think I want the boots just because of the bunch of stats that they give, including versatility. Obviously, it's not a large amount of stats, but it's something. So I think I'll go with the boots because I'm going to be keeping the boots for a longer time. And I do sometimes switch out of this trinket. Well, sometimes the sometimes is actually just going to be for raids. So there is a good argument to just use this trinket, or rather to upgrade the trinket. Fuck it. We'll upgrade all of it. I'll do the boots for now. I don't want to get stuck in analysis paralysis. We'll have more aspects Shadow Flame Crest fragments soon enough. Now we need to find a tank and a healer. We have a mage and a Shadow Priest joining us while we're recruiting. Instead of going straight to Neltharus, I'm actually going to go and do some world quests. Okay, never mind. There's a tank. 428, 18 Underrot, untimed, main score 2.9k. I mean, that's not bad, right? Maybe the Underrot wasn't their fault. You know what? We're gonna risk it for... Never mind, there's another druid. Yeah, fuck it. I'll take this one that has higher gear just because I have no other way of knowing how well they do. The rating's about similar, but it has more gear, so I'm just gonna go for that one. Sorry, Druida Kiki, but that's how that goes. Okay, now this guy's just not accepting it. Okay, he has joined. Very good. Now we wait for a healer. I'm going to delist and relist so that those guys aren't sitting in the queue for no reason. And we're going to go do some world quests while we wait for a healer to sign up. Okay, we have a full group. I'm just going to finish this little world quest that I'm doing, and then we're going to head over to Neltharus. Here we go. That's how I make a bit of my gold. About 3 of them, 4 of them, I'm not sure. Or I think, but I think I opened 1 bag already. We seem to have a decent group together. Quite happy about that. Might even get a summon. Holy shit, look at that. Yes, we are going to get a summon. That's awesome. Usually I'm the one doing the summoning, letting the tank know that I will freedom them every entangled, so there's no reason for them to move. He seems to be happy about that. Very good. Oh, and he's got the welfare bearer look. Tank is letting us know that he's going to go to the right chains first, so he's going to grab everything on the left and go over to the right chains, and then we're all going to use chains. Waiting on everyone to accept the ready check. I'm not sure who's not ready. It might be the mage because he's just kind of standing there. He looks pretty AFK to me. Everyone is ready. We're going to do a pull timer of 10 seconds. We're going to activate it on the pull mark. All right. We're going to let the tank lead. We're not going to DPS at all. Oh, okay. He's not grabbing the group on the left first. He's just going right away. Okay. I guess it's to have all the cooldowns available for the chains. So take care of that shockwave. Make sure the warders come over. Otherwise, there's not much point in using the chains. Waiting for the wardens. We're all going to use chains. I haven't DPS'd at all, really. Okay, they've been bursted down significantly. Somebody hasn't been using chains. It looks like it's the Shadow Priest. The Shadow Priest should have used chains here. There was no reason for him not to use chains. It looks like also the Holy Paladin didn't use chains. We actually have all of our cooldowns available here, so we can just burst the ever-living fuck out of them. That's what we want to interrupt, because that turns one of these ore elementals into a molten elemental, which pulses AoE damage on the group, and those never feel good. We're going to stun this one because we don't know if anybody else is going to interrupt it. We have beacon available. That would be a waste, but I still used it anyway. Okay, it wasn't a waste because it didn't one-shot the person. We have 6 stacks. I didn't react fast enough with the heals, so somebody went down. That's unfortunate. They did release, so it's fine. We're just going to run back to us. We have the thaumaturge here. We should pull more than just this one. We're going to interrupt that. Never mind. The tank is on top of it. I'm just going to shield the vengeance that. Somebody seems to have interrupted it. I think it was the bear with the incapacitating roar. I don't have anything for that, so I'm going to use my stun. And by anything, I mean I don't have my interrupt. We could pull more than this. The bear has been on top of the interrupt, so I just let him interrupt this one. I'm going to have an interrupt available for this one. I'm going to give the bear freedom so they can move out of that entangled. Or not move out of it, but just lose the entangled. The magma thing is finishing. That means the molten core is going to be coming through soon. We're going to drop all our cooldowns on this, trying to stand out of that swirly thing that I can see in my peripheral vision because I'm staring at the thaumaturge's health bar, waiting for him to do his molten core thing. He's just using that. We're going to interrupt that because it seems to be hurting the Shadow Priest quite a bit. Why did he not cast it a single time? I'm confused. Like, I was tunneling in and on him because I was expecting him to cast the thing. Am I insane? I don't know. Also, I need to do something about the size of the text of these dead names. I don't know why that text is so large. Maybe it's something I have set up in Plater that I need to change. We're just going to go quickly up the stairs here to trigger the RP of the boss. We're going to interrupt the thing that the thaumaturge casts. We're going to use all our cooldowns here. By all of our cooldowns, I mean I'm going to use everything except for wings because wings was on cooldown. I don't have anything. By anything, I mean interrupt. My interrupt is on cooldown, so I use blinding light. We are calling for bloodlust. It's not being answered. I'm going to stun that because if he turns one of the aura elementals into a molten elemental, it could be pretty bad. We're using bloodlust here, giving freedom to this guy so he doesn't have to move. Everything's nice and stacked up. Gotta move out of that swirly. Blinding charge on me-ish. Okay. It looked like he was facing a different way, so I was confused, but it said that it was on me, so I don't know, man. We're gonna use beacon here. Volatile mutation means I need to use my shield of vengeance to just completely negate that damage. Lava spray coming through, giving the tank freedom so it doesn't have to move. Charge coming in behind me. I gotta be careful of the lava that comes out. We have a battle res available for the Shadow Priest. Somebody else used it before I could. It looks like it was the Holy Paladin. That's fine. Using divine protection here right before the volatile mutation comes in so that I take reduced damage for the entirety of that dot. That Shadow Priest is having a really bad fucking day, I'll tell you that much. We don't have battle reses available for it anymore. The tank and the healer seem to think that the priest is boosted. Hopefully the salt stops there because I really don't want to have to reform this group. It's a fucking 17. Please don't make me retime a 17 or drop a 17k. The boss is going down here. He's going to charge. The waves are going to come through. We're going to move over to the side so we don't get hit by the waves coming out. We're just going to finish this fucker off. This guy released. That's good because he can just run to the right anyway. He's actually going to be there before we are. What? Oh, that was actually a cool tech by the tank. He just leaped backwards with boomkin form. I'm assuming boomkin form wild charge is the jump backwards. That's cool. I didn't know that was it. I thought it was a different talent, but it looks like the wild charge for boomkin form is actually the disengage. All right, we're doing chains again, so I'm hoping the tank does a big pull. We're giving him blessing of sacrifice, and we're going to shield the vengeance to absorb some of that damage. We're also healing ourselves because the Holy Paladin hasn't cut up yet. We're going to use chains here, I guess. Me and the tank at least. That's 2 chains. That's what they call me. Our Mass Dispel is dead, so we have to be careful. I stopped DPSing there so that the Mass Dispel isn't necessary, so we don't have too many stacks. Yeah, the priest just keeps dying over and over again. I don't know what killed him there. There was really nothing hitting him, so it's just a weird situation where the priest is not playing very well. That's unfortunate, but luckily he has us to carry him. That's how it be sometimes, and it do be like that sometimes. Pick that mending. All right, we have a big pull, but we don't have anyone who can use chains here. The mage could use chains, it looks like. No, the mage has chains cooldown. Is he offline or something? I can't actually tell. No, he's not offline. Oh, there we go. He finally released and realized that we're not going to res him because he can run. All right, that's 3 stacks. We're going to stop DPS. There we go. The stacks of bursting went away, so we can kill a bunch of these. Priest is being salty. He says, good res. I don't know. This is looking like another rough run, man. I'm gonna stun that binding spear because I don't trust the priest not to stand in it. I'm not gonna use my cooldowns here. I'm gonna use one of my cooldowns here, which is Divine Toll, just to do a bit more damage, but I don't want to use my Final Reckoning and Avenging Wrath. I'm gonna save that for the boss. Yeah, the group is flaming each other. If they keep doing that, I'm going to just ignore every single person in the group so I don't have to look at their bickering in trade chat, or trade chat in party chat is what I meant. Yeah, they're definitely just gonna keep flaming each other, so I'm just gonna ignore first this guy, then this guy. The mage hasn't said much, so I'm not going to ignore the mage yet. And the priest also hasn't said much, but if he says something salty as well, I'm just going to ignore him as well. I can't give people freedom here for when they get the chain. They're just going to have to figure it out themselves. I'm just going to give the tank freedom whenever the thing comes up. I'm moving over to here. I'm going to use my thingy thing. I don't want 3 stuns at the same time. I'm just letting the tank decide how many stuns go through. I'm gonna use the first one. He's slowly moving it over. We don't want to stack them. Yes, there we go. Dot has expired before that next chain break. Dot has expired again. We're gonna get another break. Never mind, we're not gonna get another break because the priest is that again. It's gonna be rough. We're gonna give Blessing of Sacrifice to the mage so he maybe survives. I can't guarantee shit. We're gonna give Lay on Hands to the healer. Okay, we managed to survive without the fucking Shadow Priest, but I really hope he doesn't die again because otherwise it's gonna be really fucking rough on the second ones. I don't know if we can survive the second ones because we don't have any defensive cooldowns left for the group. We use both Lay on Hands and Blessing of Sacrifice there. We use Shield of Vengeance again to try and remove some of that damage. We're looking at where the priest is. The priest should move out of the circle. Okay, we're doing the first chain break, giving the tank freedom so he can move around more easily. Also get rid of Entangled. Okay, there's a second chain break. Hopefully the priest doesn't suicide into the boss again because you're not supposed to stand in that circle. And there's a third chain break. Yay, we did the mechanic as we're supposed to do. And my DPS is probably atrocious here because I'm so busy commentating people's mistakes that I don't do my DPS, which is then a mistake of my own. I don't know, man. This group is making me question whether we're going to time this or not because this dungeon is not very friendly on the timer. But if I shut the fuck up and focus, maybe we will. I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to use all my cooldowns here. I don't care about the next pull. The next pull we have chains for the trash, so I don't really care. We're probably going to use chains, so I don't even need my cooldowns for the trash, so I'm just going to spend it on the boss because if we get another set of these spears, we're not going to survive. I'm going to ignore the priest because he's also still talking to them. I'm not going to say anything. If I say something like shut up and play, people are going to get angry at me as well. We're going to use chains here. I don't know if we wanted to use chains here or on the next group. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to use them here. Nobody else is using chains. I'm okay with using chains here just by myself, and then the rest of the group can use them. All I'm going to say is thank fuck for the ignore feature. We're using chains here, so I'm just going to go and quickly grab these birdies as well. I saw that the tank was going to try and do that himself. I'm giving some heals to the group. I'm going to blinding light here to interrupt everything that's being cast. Tank is grouping everything up. I can't use chains, so I'm just going to kind of sit here and try to off heal because I don't need to do damage when people are using chains, but not everyone is using chains. Hopefully we get a good MD here. If we don't get a good MD here, we're probably going to die. It's going to be 3 stacks. 4 stacks are coming in soon. Okay, we managed to reset the stacks so the guy isn't using MD. I guess you're saving it for next season. I'm just going to give some... Tank is standing still and talking probably instead of playing the game. You flaming the guy is not going to help us time the dungeon. Let's see if we're doing a double pull here. If we're doing a double pull here, I'm going to save my interrupts for the Iron Torch rather than the melts. There's the Iron Torch. We're going to interrupt that. Hopefully some people start kicking melts. You have 4 interrupts available, 0 kicks on melts. Just my kick has been used on the Iron Torch. That's kind of sad to see, but I guess we don't need it because we're kind of surviving without interrupting them. If this was fortified, that would have been a lot more painful, I guess, but I don't care. As long as we interrupt the... Oh, Jesus. MD, dude. Use MD. That was rough, man. You needed to use that MD sooner, not on the last tick of fucking bursting. Holy shit. That was scary. Tank is not pulling more because he's afraid. Yeah, now the mage is asking people to stop being toxic. I guess they're still flaming the poor fucking priest. Yeah, we get it. He plays poorly. Let's just move on. Mode of combustion. Interrupt that. We're going to give... Oh, we're not going to give... We're going to give him Blessing of Protection because he had the bleed on him. Trying to use Blinding Light on the... Oh, just barely made it. Man, my global cooldown almost fucked me there. But yeah, we managed to interrupt the bleeds. If somebody got hit by the bleeds again, I don't think we would have had them survive. I'm going to use my stun on the next Dragonbone Spear on either of these Bone Splitters that survive, just to make sure that the squishies don't get murdered by it. 16 minutes left. We're doing 2 bosses. I feel like we have enough time to do this if people just start focusing on playing the game and stop focusing on flaming the priest. Are we skipping this guy? We seem to be skipping this guy. That's okay. I'm going to do a nice big pull here. Looking at the star-marked Iron Torch. I'm going to turn off friendly health bars because I don't really need to see that anymore. Whichever Iron Torch actually gets cast off is the only one I need to keep looking at because only one of the 2 will keep casting for some reason. It was the star-marked one, so we're just going to stay on the star-marked Iron Torch. No reason to switch targets. I would love it if somebody other than me was kicking the melts, but I mean, I'm not kicking the melts because I'm looking at this thing. But if I knew that I didn't have to kick that, I would be kicking melts. But I guess it doesn't matter. Now I'm being critical of the group for no reason. We're looking at the Bone Splitter to stun that Dragon Bone thing. We don't want that going through. The only thing we can kick here is melt, so we're going to kick a melt once we get one being cast. There's a melt. We're going to kick it. We're going to look back at the Bone Splinter. We're going to use Blinding Light if we need to interrupt the Dragon Bone Spear, because that thing is the massive bleed that almost killed our priest earlier when I gave him the Blessing of Protection. And drop all our cooldowns here. I don't care. We just want the Bone Splinter to die. That is not the thing. There's the Dragon Bone thing. We're going to interrupt that.
Tank was also on top of it. He used the incapacitating roar to make sure that it doesn't go through. That's good. Everyone's doing well except for the priest. I mean, the mage is not doing great on the DPS front, but overall, just people are doing well. I think people are getting hung up on a lot of mistakes, or not a lot of mistakes, but just the first boss where the priest was not doing well. He died twice. That's usually how it goes. People that are toxic are just going to latch on to your one mistake, and then even if you play perfect for the rest of the run, they're just going to be super critical for no particular reason. Big group here, going to use my Beacon to the Beyond. Probably should have saved it for the boss, but I don't really give a fuck. We're going to have Bloodlust for the boss, so the boss is just going to melt. Going to save our Blessing of Sacrifice here to make sure that the priest survives, because he's been the squishiest. We're going to interrupt one of those melts. No reason to let them go through if I have an interrupt available. And it looks like we're going to chain these into the boss, or maybe not because of the bursting. Probably not a good idea. It's going to be 3 stacks of bursting. Hopefully we got an MD. Nope. No MD in sight. Still saving it for next season, but that's okay. I should stop expecting it from the priest. The priest is just not playing well. What can I say? It is very nice not to have to worry about Animal, though. Oh, please. Saying Bloodlust, please. There we go. We got the Bloodlust. I have the Burning Aegis. I'm going to step away so that we don't hit anyone with the swirlies that come from it. There we go. And the Forge Master jumps back to the center. I'm going to give the priest my Blessing of Sacrifice so that he doesn't kick the bucket. Okay. Blessing of Sacrifice on the priest. I'm going to use Shield of Vengeance. I'm taking damage, and the priest is taking damage, which makes me take more damage. So the Shield of Vengeance was getting maximum value there. That's very good. Stepping away again because I have the circle on me, which means that the swirlies are going to come for me, so I got to make sure I don't hit anyone out. Yeah, people are flaming each other still. I'm going to ignore the mage as well, not because he's saying something mean, but because he's just spamming up my chat, and I really don't want to see that on my screen. I don't know, man. I finally found one of the groups where people flame each other the entire time. I should have used Divine Protection there to mitigate some of that damage coming in. I don't have a circle on me, so I can stay close to the boss and keep attacking. Give Lay on Hands. I don't need to give a Lay on Hands. There's no damage source on the priest. We are going to give him Lay on Hands if he's still low at the beginning of the AoE phase. No reason for him to die. Never mind, he just died because he stood in shit. Yeah, the priest really is playing poorly. I understand the frustration these guys have. Using Shield of Vengeance to absorb some of the damage from this thing that gives me the swirlies. Beacon to the Beyond, dropped on the boss. This is easily timeable though. 11 minutes left for like 1% of this boss, well 5% of this boss, and the trash in front of the last boss, which doesn't take all that long, and the last boss. Like, we got this. There we go. Release, please. I asked the priest to just release. People are standing still over there, probably typing shit and flaming each other. I can't see because I've ignored them. I don't know, man. This run could have been super easy. Could have been just a smooth, nice Neltharus run with a priest that's underperforming, but why did it turn into this shit show? Because people felt the need to keep flaming a priest that's clearly underperforming. It's okay. We get it. The priest is not doing well. You don't have to keep flaming the shit out of him. Just acknowledge that he's not doing well and move on. The healer just left. That's a giant waste of my fucking time. Yeah, the group fell apart on a timeable dungeon because people had to fucking flame each other, man. Well, I now have a 16 Neltharus. I guess I'm gonna go do the 16 Neltharus or something because I need to push up my key either way. Whatever, man. I'm gonna take a short break because I'm really frustrated from having to deal with these children arguing with each other in a video game. If you think someone sucks, fucking keep it to yourself. Tell them nicely with a suggestion what they could do better. If you can't say it like that, then shut the fuck up. To the healer and the tank that were in my run just now, if you're watching this video, you flaming the fuck out of him will not make you time the key, and it's sure as fuck not going to make anyone play better if you keep constantly criticizing them. I have no idea what you told them, but I can imagine it's probably something like spamming MD, MD, MD every time he did an MD after we had a bunch of stacks of bursting, or flaming him every time he died. None of that helped us time to run, and it didn't make him play better. So I don't know, man. Being civil and not insulting people for no reason, that is going to help me time the dungeon. So you guys should try it the fuck out. Anyway, I'm going to go take my break because I'm now really salty. All right, we took a little break. I went to reply to some comments on my previous video, or actually not my previous video, but episode 20, because that's what's currently live while I record this. I'm getting quite a bit ahead with the videos, and I really like that. The only reason I'm able to do that is because I'm currently on vacation from work, and I'm spending my vacation having a blast by not going anywhere, playing World of Warcraft, and recording it for YouTube. It's amazing. Wait, what's this? Windborn Velocidrake, red hair. Well, I wish it was a manuscript for one of the drakes that doesn't look like a bent over gremlin type, because truth be told, it is by far the ugliest mount. Look at this thing. Yeah, I'm not writing that. I'm sorry. Maybe with the infinite visage, but I don't have it. I have the one for a renewed proto drake, which would make this much nicer, but I got my cliffside wilder drake, and that's all I need. Anyway, let's get back to business. I have decided that I'm gonna put my head down and just grind until I get to my first 20 and just try to do the 20. I am not gonna commentate anything I'm just going to show you once I've killed the last boss, and I'm going to do that until I manage to get a 20 key, and then I'm going to commentate the 20 key, and that's going to be the last part of this episode because I've already spent a lot of time trying to record just 120 key, and I've had absolutely no luck because I've just been, a disconnect here, a grief here, people arguing there, all sorts of shit going on. It just hasn't been working out. So we're just going to put our head down, grind. I'm not going to commentate a few dungeons. I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm running out of time to get everything on 20 this week, and that's what I really, really want to do. So I'll talk to you after I finish the 16 Neltharus. Doing a 16 Neltharus with the group you can see on screen. I'll show you the results once we finish the dungeon. And that's how you do a Neltharus 16. You just put the fucking team on your back and you fucking run through it. That's how you fucking do it. Next up, Brackenhide 17. Doing the 17 Brackenhide Hollow with the group that you can see on the screen. And that's a 17 Brackenhide Hollow plus 3'd. And we have a 20 key. The 20 key is Uldaman Legacy of tier. Okay, well, that's gonna fucking suck, I'll tell you right now. At least we got the monk a neck. That was a very nice run. It looks like everyone in here is actually an experienced player because they're mostly on alts. The warrior is on his main. The warrior is a 3.2k rated player. He absolutely fucking dominated the DPS, 226k DPS. That has nothing to do with item level. He did have more item level than me, but if I was the same item level as him, I would not be doing that much DPS, I think. Truth be told, I did spend a lot of time healing because we kept, destroying a bunch of mobs, and then bursting would kill us if I don't off heal right after the mobs are dead. I'm actually curious how many times I cast Flash of Light. Probably like 100. Let me take a look at that. It says 8 casts, but I think that's just because it's only showing the ones that I do in combat. Out of combat, I did a shit ton more. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, let's go try and do this Uldaman 20. I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to take me a long time to even get a group because it took me a long time to get one for a 19. And when people see that my highest clear is a 17 and that I'm trying to do a 20, they're probably going to be skeptical. But let's give it a shot. We've actually farmed up quite a few aspect crests, and by quite a few I mean 2, but that is actually all we need in order to upgrade everything we have. I think with these upgrades I might hit 441. No, I don't. I'm still 440. That's okay though. I do have everything I want upgraded, which is nice. The next thing I do is probably going to be recrafting all of these items that I have. I have the belt. I have 2 rings that I need to recraft. I have the bracers. I'm probably going to start with the belt and then I'll do the bracers. The reason being because those are embellished items and they have strength on them, while the rings only have secondary stats and stamina. I'm also going to go ahead and craft myself a ring with stats. I just realized that I do not have a ring that has stats on it. A ring? Sorry, no, am I saying ring? I mean a gem. But yeah, we're gonna go craft one. I think we're gonna be going for a skillful, a skillful whatever the hell. Let me actually check before I get the wrong goddamn thing. No, we're gonna get resplendent because it gives primary stat and versatility. That's the one I was thinking of. For some reason I thought of skillful, but skillful is what I had on what did I have that? I don't know, it doesn't even matter. I'm gonna get the one that gives me versatility because that's the best stat for a Ret Paladin. We're just gonna track it to make sure I buy all the right mats. Noba made it for us, 100% rank 3, no price asked. He asked me to tip what I thought was fair. I tipped 5k. I hope that's an okay price. I don't really know what the prices are for rank 3 gems. I know that they're pretty expensive. But yeah, we got our gem. I think I'm just going to put it on the belt because I'm not replacing the belt anytime soon. Putting it in crafted gear makes the most sense there. That way there's no chance that you're going to replace it. I wouldn't put it in the helmet because there's a chance I'm going to replace this helmet, but a crafted item, I'm probably going to keep that forever. And we seem to have a new applicant. Let's see. It's a 441 tank. Fuck it. We'll take them. Yeah, we're definitely reaching the peak of our gear. We just have we just have a few more improvements to make. I think the weapon is going to be one, but that's something I'm going to get next week. I'm going to do the recrafts first, and then I'm going to craft boots and a chest. The recrafts go first because it's 10 item level increase. The boots and chest go after that because they're a 6 item level increase. Oh, this is perfect. Priest and a healer. That's amazing. We have a group for a 20. Today has been a very long day. Lots of disappointments, lots of rough times. One more trip to the Uldaman portal, which is located in a really fucking weird spot. If you didn't know, it's over here. I'm making a joke out of it because one guy said that it was part of the DNV bingo. Well, I knew it was too good to be true. They left for no reason. For some reason. They just didn't say what it was. I'm assuming it's because I haven't timed a 19, let alone a 20. So they probably didn't want to stick around. It's that DPS life. I'm going to keep looking. This person is clearly a good candidate. 445 item level, 2.5k rating, but I'm leaving a slot open for a pre-made healer and DPS like those guys were. And I would really like a priest because dealing with bursting has been really, really, really annoying. It's been shitting on my DPS because I keep having to off heal. So I'm just going to try and get us a priest. All right. I really hope this is it, that this is the first fucking 20 that I do. Once I get my first 20, I feel like I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable and people are going to be nice. Yeah, the hunter says if the stacks get too high, just let go of your keyboard. Don't keep killing things. But the Zug Zug is sometimes too strong. Everyone is ready. We're gonna do a full timer for 10 seconds. Put the key in and get ready to fucking hustle. Couldn't find a priest, so we have a hunter for the bloodlust. I asked the healer if he wanted a priest or if I should just take a bloodlust. He said that he would rather have a bloodlust, so here we are. I'm gonna grab this. I always do that just for the 10% movement speed. Me being there for a few seconds longer is not going to change the outcome of that pull, especially not on Tyrannical. We're looking to kick as soon as we can. I'm not going to bother with the high priority kicks. The group should handle that themselves. We did get an interrupt there, but I stunned it as well. Gonna give the tank freedom, or at least try to give the tank freedom. We're gonna put focus on the tank. There we go. I forgot to do that at the beginning. Plenty of CC coming through. People are definitely using their shit. I like it. We have 2 stacks. Gotta be careful not to get too many stacks. Okay, all is well. Give the tank Blessing of Sacrifice there. I saw that he was getting low. We're gonna use another set of cooldowns as well as a Shield of Vengeance to absorb some of that damage. We're gonna give the tank Blessing of Freedom to make sure that he can keep moving. He didn't see my message, unfortunately, so he's gonna keep kiting. I think he's just kiting away from the mobs, to be honest. We're gonna kick that so we don't have reflect damage going through. We have 3 stacks. We should stop. Actually, 4 stacks is fine. 5 stacks, however, is going to result in us. Okay, never mind. It was revived. The revival was used, so all magic effects were dispelled from the group. We're going to kick that just to keep them moving. They're going to chain lightning soon. I don't have anything to interrupt that. I'll use my stun actually on this one, but this one I can't interrupt, so I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to try and do as much damage as I can here because I am a DPS, so maybe I should actually focus on doing some fucking damage instead of just constantly trying to do as much utility as I can. Very nice. Just going to do some off healing while we wait for the next pull. There we go. I'm gonna kick that. Chain lightning. No reason to let that go through. I'm wondering if the tank is gonna pull the boss into the berserkers before they hit 40%. Just gonna stun that geomancer. No reason to let him cast for free. Are we pulling the boss? We don't seem to be pulling the boss. That's fair. I'm not gonna use my cooldowns here for the last 40% of these guys, especially when they're gonna debuff themselves. Well, buff and debuff, I guess. I don't know. If you didn't know, at 40%, the berserkers do a cast called Reckless Rage. That increases the damage done and damage taken by 20% of all mobs that are in range and in combat. We're gonna wait for the first set of ads, and then we're going to drop absolutely everything on them. We're going to run over to the Geomancer and interrupt him so that he joins the boss, so that everything is nicely grouped up. There we go. There's a kick. Everything's going to be grouped up. Waiting for that thing to go through and everything to group up. Come on, group up. So I want to press my fucking buttons. I was ready to fucking go. Switching over to the totem. Maybe I should have held out for the totem. Doesn't matter. I still have my wings going, so I'll be doing plenty of damage. We're going to kick that. Make sure that it groups up for the totem dying. There we go. We killed the totem before the bloodlust came through. That's very good. Continue beating the ever-loving fuck out of this boss. We do have bloodlust running. Maybe probably should have used beacon on a totem, but I guess it doesn't matter too much. I'm not worried about DPS in this group. These guys are absolutely blasting it. Okay, we have an hunter ranged interrupt on that geomancer. That's very nice. I give the tank freedom. Would be nice if the range actually stacked on top of us. Oh, it's so nice when people actually do their interrupts. I'm gonna bubble here just so I don't have to move out. Trying to kill the totem. Doing single target on totem. The bloodlust went through. We really need to kill the totem. There we go. We killed the totem. Unfortunate that bloodlust went through, but what can you do? Hunter interrupted the ranged mob again so that everything groups up. We're gonna drop another set of cooldowns while all the mobs are grouped up. I don't know if I should start saving that for the totem or not, but it's working out so far, so I don't really mind. Hard switching to totem. Need to make it die before that bloodlust goes off. Unfortunately, the bloodlust went off again, but what can you do? At least the mobs that the boss spawns haven't been buffed by bloodlust. Tank is making sure that the ranged ad joins us. We're gonna go ahead and kick it again so that it keeps moving again towards us. We want to keep them all nice and stacked so that we can cleave them all down as quickly as possible. So it is important to kill all the ads as well. I'm going to stun it. Never mind, somebody already kicked it, but toss in a stun for good measure. We're going to drop all of our cooldowns on the totem as soon as everything is grouped up on the totem. Right about now, the bloodlust is being cast. Hopefully we can cleave down or kill the totem quickly enough. I think the boss dies in the stun from the totem, so we don't have to worry about him casting bloodlust. He has been able to get bloodlust through. I think people just have low totem damage because they're just cleaving it instead of hard switching to it, but that's okay. As long as we can kill the boss, I don't really give a shit if they cleave it or they kill it directly. Tank gave us all movement speed. I love seeing that. Just repeating my message to the tank while there's not as much shit going on, so hopefully he notices this time. I'm gonna tunnel on Eric. We have a very short charge. That's very good. Waiting for all my cooldowns, then I'll drop all of them at the same time. I'm gonna quickly look at Olaf because he's gonna do that. We're gonna immediately interrupt it to fuck with all of them. We're going to drop the beacon on all of them while they're grouped up nicely like that. We have longboat raid coming through. We're going to use all our cooldowns. We're going to stay on top of them. Ideally, the group would stack in such a way that we don't have any shit going down in the middle of the room where the bosses land after they're done with their little joyride. So far so good. We have plenty of space. We're going to stay on Eric over here. We have place to stand. Okay, I need to get behind Balog. The cleave is about to go through. I need to move because of Eric's charge. We're going to battle res. I think that's the hunter. Yes, we got the hunter. We're going to interrupt the defensive barrier. The heavy arrows coming through. That's a frontal. People that are right there should fucking move. I think they did move enough to not get hit. I'm standing in fire for some reason. That wild cleave is very scary. We're fighting on a fucking nailhead right here. I have another set of cooldowns coming in soon. There they are. We're gonna just drop everything on these guys again just to make them die. It is tyrannical. It's never a waste to use cooldowns on a boss unless the boss is literally about to die. The guy that does the defensive barrier went down before he could get interrupted. That's perfectly fine. It's just Eric left and we go. Fuck, I forgot about grabbing the what's that thing called? The rock vein. I'm just gonna grab this one. I do have another divine steed to catch up after I do the mining thing over here. It requires 25 mining, by the way. You can't just do this as anyone. You have to be a miner. All right, we have a monk who can sweeping strike or leg sweep these things. There we go. That's very nice. The hunter also stunned one of the FD custodians. I'll be next. There's a binding shot coming through, so that'll also stun them. Keep that CC going. Okay, we're gonna kite them. Once they get uncomfortably close to the tank, I'm gonna drop a stun on this one right there. I'm gonna drop some cooldowns on this. There's no reason not to. They're obnoxious and annoying to kite. I don't have any kind of slow. The tank's doing a great job of kiting them with his abilities. And we stutter stepping the jagged bites. That's very nice. Should be able to finish these off. I don't have a stun available because I already used it. I'm gonna give the tank movement speed. That way he can also kite better, but also we need to do it because otherwise he'll get stunned by entangled or has to just run out of it like some kind of animal. It's funny that I say that about a fucking druid of all things. I have a stun available again. Binding shot will stun it first. We're just gonna drop one of these stuns on it. We're gonna give the tank movement speed so that we remove that. I don't know if he has yet realized that I'm giving him freedom every time entangling pops, but it doesn't really matter if he realizes it or not. I'm going to keep doing it. Okay, he's doing the whole stutter step thing where he lets the Refty Custodian start casting and then he moves away so that he can't actually cast. He's backpedaled the fuck out of that Refty Custodian. Alright, we're going to drop all our cooldowns right off the bat. We're going to put the circles right on top of the boss. A third circle is there, so hopefully we don't immediately insta-stun the boss because that's not ideal. You want to wait until its energy is at... I'm going to shield the vengeance here actually because I had the bleed on me and I didn't realize. Okay, we stunned the boss. I think it was close to full energy, so it's not a big deal. We still have wings, but we don't have Final Reckoning. That means we can use Beacon to the Beyond. That way we get the maximum value out of our Final Reckoning, while also getting the damage of Beacon to the Beyond increased by our by our Avenging Wrath. Okay, looking at health bars. Just trying to make sure I give Blessing of Protection to anyone who gets the bleed. The bleed is on the monk. We're just going to give the Blunk Blessing of Protection. There's no reason for him to suffer that kind of damage. He overlapped it with his little bubble thing. That's unfortunate. I have all my cooldowns available, so we're going to drop everything on top of her head. He's almost full. I'm just going to stun her myself because I'm not sure if the boss would have reached the orb in time, so I figured I would stun it. The best time to stun her is when she's casting it. I'm going to put those right on top of her. That way the tank doesn't even have to move it. I'm going to use Shield of Vengeance because I got hit by the bleed. Giving the tank Blessing of Freedom. It got insta-stunned. I'm not sure. I think somebody used the stun on her. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate. I think... Do we battle res the... I should have fucking used Lay on Hands faster. Okay, the other paladin used the battle res on it. We're gonna give Lay on Hands to that. I don't want the hunter going down again. I need to be more quick about that because that stomp does so much damage on a 20. I'm gonna give the hunter our Blessing of Sacrifice to reduce the amount of damage it's taking. Okay, it's on me. I'm just gonna spam heals on myself because the bleed just does so much fucking damage. There we go. Okay, I have survived it. Now I'm in the hands of the healer. In the capable hands of the healer. I'm just gonna stun this guy. Never mind, the hunter stunned it. The hunter's really fucking good. He's good on his CC. We're gonna... Oh, never mind. I wasted my blinding light. These guys are just on top of their fucking CC game. I have no complaints about that. I'm gonna drop our beacon here. There's a nice stack of mobs. Hail of Stone. I don't have anything. We used our Blessing of Freedom, I think, is what I wanted to say. I lost my train of thought there. Don't have to move, tank. I give freedom. Just reiterating to the tank that I will give him freedom so he doesn't have to keep moving out of the thing. Gonna interrupt that curse. We're gonna stun this curse. We have a Hail of Stone that we can't interrupt, but hopefully somebody else does. Yeah, we have Incapacitating Roar coming through for the interrupt for the Hails of Stone. We're gonna save our interrupt for another curse. There's a very healthy warder over there that I believe will try to cast the curse again. We don't have Blinding Light or Stun, so we can't do anything about the Hails of Stone. Giving the tank freedom. Tank continues to move, even though I keep telling him that he doesn't have to. I think he just doesn't see chat in the middle of combat, so I'm not going to say it again because it's just spamming the chat and being annoying at this point, I think. We have the warder over there. That's who we're going to target. The runic protectors here. I think I'm going to give the hunter blessing of sacrifice again when earthquake comes through. I'm going to blinding light this and give the tank freedom. Give the hunter blessing of sacrifice to reduce the damage he's taking. Pick that curse and drop our cooldowns here. I don't mind using them on this trash. This trash is very, very irritating. I have a stun available in case there's anything I need to interrupt. Need to get out of those fissures before the earthquake starts. I can DPS from this distance. That's not an issue. Can't auto attack, I think, but I can do most of my spells and that's what matters. All right, we're looking to interrupt the Cavern Seekers when they cast their thing. I don't have anything. I used it on things that other people were interrupting. Just gonna drop my beacon on top of this. Oh, nice. We used a revival for this because it was a bunch of bursting stacks because we killed a bunch of mobs very, very quickly. We're going to bloodlust this. We're going to use all of our cooldowns because bloodlust is running so we can maximize the damage during bloodlust. Give the tank freedom so he doesn't have to move. This time he actually didn't move. That's very nice. Ooh, our healer went down. We're going to give him intercession immediately. No, we're not because we have a 4-minute cooldown on that. I'm going to shield of vengeance. Ooh, I think that's reset. I'm gonna go hug people and die. Okay, we're gonna release. That's okay. We have time to do this. I'm not worried. It was a mistake. An honest mistake is perfectly fine. Reassuring the group, making sure that everyone's morale stays high. We have 17 minutes to do this boss and the next boss. There was a lot of trash in between, but who gives a shit? We're gonna fucking stomp all of it. By virtue of being a paladin, I have all of my cooldowns available again, and I'm actually closer to being able to use beacon on the boss again, so that's perfectly fine with me. I'm gonna shield the vengeance here because it's a lot of damage from this. I'm going to lay on hands, and never mind, I'm not gonna lay on hands. Shit, it's on cooldown. Just trying to make sure I don't stand in the orbs, whatever the hell they are. I'm gonna use blessing. Oh, Jesus fuck. Divine protection there. I was just trying to get away from the fucking orbs. So I had to shut up because my brain was like overloaded from trying to position and everything. I think the group's gonna get split up, the hunter especially. This is all the way on the other side. By virtue of being ranged, the rest of us are melee, so we have to stand on top of the boss. He was over there. How far away is the hunter? Very far away. I'm going to bubble, and I'm gonna go over to the hunter, and I'm gonna give him some healing. I got you, buddy. You're not going down while I'm on watch. Paladin power, buddy. I got you. Not today. Ain't no fucking boss gonna take us out. The group is almost done with the last one. Gonna give the guy some more healing. All right, here we go. And we can kill the boss before the next intermission, I believe, because I have all my cooldowns available. Probably the group does as well. Using Shield of Vengeance to absorb this unavoidable damage. For the next one, I'll use Divine Protection again. I'm gonna step a bit closer so I can auto attack. I'm just very afraid of these orbs, so I'm very vigilant of them. Divine Protection for this one. Avoid the orbs. I'm safe here. I can actually cast. Very good. I'm hoping he goes down before he's gonna go in the middle again. I guess that's the value of Bloodlust on this fight. Hunter looks like he's gonna get split off again. I don't have a bubble to save you this time, Hunter. I'm sorry, it's on you. I'm gonna try and heal him while I'm in range. Ooh, almost stepped into that shit because of trying to heal the hunter. Gonna do some damage to this and give the tank freedom. Try to heal the hunter. He's close enough for me to heal. Ooh, spicy meatball. Don't want to get mowed down. Trying to deal DPS to these. I don't want to use any cooldowns on this. I want to kill the boss with my cooldowns. So we're just gonna slowly but surely kill these guys. Gonna use a Wake of Ashes here. It's a 30-second cooldown. It's not that massive. Trying to finish this off. There we go. Tank should be, or boss should be leaving his intermission thing. Okay, hunter managed to survive, but the skin of his teeth again. I mean, he didn't get very low. I think the healer was also giving him some help with some hots and whatnot, but we're gonna finish off the boss here. Ooh, sweet baby Jesus, that was a very touch and go kind of situation with Ember on, and we're right at the door for the next pack of trash. Let's go. I'm gonna kick one of these guys when they start casting. There we go. I'm not gonna use any of my CC because the group has been on top of the CC for most of it. I'm just gonna use mine as a fallback. Do you have any stuns for this? Yeah, the hunter had a stun, so I wasted mine. I think I actually used it on the golem by accident. I derped out there, and I just wasted my kick because I was too slow. I'm gonna Shield of Vengeance this. There's no reason for me to take damage here. Just gonna finish this guy off so we interrupt his Hail of Stone bullshit. Okay, we're going to interrupt this Weaver to make him move with us. I'm looking for Hails of Stone. I'm gonna use my Blinding Light when I see 2 Hails of Stone. I'm gonna drop all my cooldowns on this group. I see 2 Hails of Stone using Blinding Light. Don't have interrupts available, so I can't do much about those stone bolts. Here's one that I can interrupt. We're gonna do that. Oh, okay, we have some more friends coming. Okay. This is gonna be a juicy pull, let's put it that way. We're gonna drop our beacon on this to make light work of some of these. We're gonna interrupt that curse, trying to heal the... Yeah, I think I'm just overdoing it with the off healing. I don't think that's necessary. I'm gonna stop doing that and see how we do. It's just bursting has me so fucking worried. For a second, I thought I wasn't recording, and I would have lost my shit if I wasn't recording for the entirety of this fucking dungeon. Okay, we're gonna drop all our cooldowns here. I think I body pulled that. That's my bad. I'm sorry. I don't know where else to move in that situation. Kicking the curse. Moving on to the group again. We're gonna try in line of sight the Evanstone Golems just to reduce the incoming damage to the group. There's one. We're going to step right here so we ignore that. There we go. There's the other. We're going to step away again to ignore that. There we go. The other paladin tried to do the same thing, but he was a bit too slow. Managed to shield the vengeance that, I think. No, I didn't. I used it too late, but it doesn't matter. It absorbed some of the bursting damage. That's fine. Used a revival to remove multiple stacks of bursting there. This monk is really fucking good. I mean, this whole group is really, really good. If we're doing a 4 warder pull, we're going to use our blinding light to interrupt as many curses as possible. If there's 1 or 2 curses being cast, I can interrupt those. But anything more than that, I need to use blinding light. We're going to use 2 on here, trying to interrupt that curse. There's 1 more curse left to be interrupted, I think, if nobody else got it. So I'm just going to save my stun for that. But right now I'm just going to focus on DPS, and we're going to drop all our cooldowns here because there's a big group. All right, 10 minutes left to clear the trash and do the last boss. We're going to see. I think that's plenty of time. I'm very optimistic about timing this, unless we have some very, very fatal mistakes. We're just going to line of sight this last Somp. No reason to take that damage if I don't have to, because I could DPS from a distance. I lost 1 global of damage there, just to line of sight a bunch of damage. Hunter says go, go. I tend to agree with that sentiment. We could pull more. We just had the one guy looking to interrupt the haste thing. Tank is grabbing another one down there. We're looking to interrupt here, giving the tank freedom. Tank decides to move anyway. We interrupted one of those. There's not much else I can do here. Waiting just a few seconds. I'm gonna stun that. No reason to let that cast go through. Just waiting a second more, and now we have all our cooldowns. We're gonna drop everything, and we're gonna focus the Time Reaver. Make sure that he dies first because of his damage over time. We're gonna step here behind line of sight. That way, never mind. He was able to see me, so he reapplied his debuff. 6 stacks of it. We're gonna kick this. Don't let that go through. 1 hasten did go through. Tank's handling it like a fucking champion. He's getting beat up pretty bad and still just walking away from him. Okay, very nice. We're going to give some off healing here just because we're out of combat. No reason not to. I just don't want to do it in combat anymore. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. Was that intentional, or are we just like, am I crazy? That's... Oof. Okay, well, there's the fatal mistake I was talking about. I'm going to try and do a bunch of damage here. We're going to use Shield of Vengeance here because it's just going to be really, really rough. Use Blessing of Sacrifice on the, what's-his-face, on the Hunter. 15 stacks. We're going to step over here to reset that. Just we need to line of sight that. Okay, we managed to drop our stacks. People should be doing the same. I think the Hunter's just being cleansed by the healer. We do have line of sight here. Easy access to it, so it's not as horrible as I thought. We're just going to give freedom to the tank, waiting for the stacks to reset. I don't think I can wait right that long. Yeah, they've been reactivated. I'm just going to use Divine Protection. We're going to lay on hands. We ain't going to lay on hands. Shit, Hunter's all the way back there. We're going to lay on hands the Hunter now. I have 15 stacks. I'm going to try and go reset them. I'm going to stand over here. 2, 1. Okay, I can go back in now. Yeah, this is rough. This is really rough. Okay, we managed to handle the pull. Give the tank freedom so he doesn't have to move. Finally trusts me. It only took him the whole dungeon. Okay, that was a really, really aggressive pull, and I don't think it was necessary. We could have killed the Whelplings and the one guy, and we would have had enough percent, but fuck it. We have Bloodlust available, so we're gonna Bloodlust on pull, I think. Yeah, we're gonna Bloodlust on pull. We could have waited with the Bloodlust potentially. I dropped an orb in a really, really bad spot. That's my bad. We could have waited potentially for the first rewind time to use our Bloodlust, but I guess this will do. Time sync on me and this guy. I don't have freedom to give. I'm gonna use Shield of Vengeance here. I used it just in time for that thing to go through. We're gonna move over here because I just don't have anywhere to stand in DPS anymore. Rewind time is coming through. We're gonna go stand in shit now because standing in shit actually gives you haste now. Just trying to stay close enough to keep auto attacking. Perfect. Yeah, this orb that I left in the middle of the room really fucking sucked. That's my bad. Divine Protection here because Wing Buffet was coming through. That hurts like a fucking bitch. We'll give that guy freedom to remove some of those. I don't care about the entangled here. The damage from the time sink is actually a lot worse. Gonna beacon here, even though we had Final Reckoning still up on the boss. We should really move out of that corner. I would really like it if we moved out of that corner. I'm going to Shield of Vengeance here. Time Rewind should be coming through. Yeah, Time Rewind is coming through. Okay, I'm a little scatterbrained here, giving freedom to the tank. I'm just gonna use my freedom on Untangle. It's too hard to actually target people that have the debuff, and the healer's doing a very good job with removing the debuff with Tiger's Lust and his Dispel. Time Sync is on me. I'm just gonna stand right here. I'm gonna step away to not get hit by it. Waiting for all my cooldowns. Gonna drop them on the dragon's head soon. I'm just gonna bubble because I'm very low and I can't see where I'm standing. Rewind time is coming through. We can go stand in shit. Giving tank freedom because Entangled is up. We have 4.5 minutes to kill the boss. He's at 14%. The group is looking healthy. Healer's full of mana. I'm pretty confident we got this in the bag. I'm just gonna use Shield of Vengeance here while I have this nasty ass debuff. And give Blessing of Sacrifice to the Hunter because he's the squishiest from what I've seen. I have another set of cooldowns coming through just in time to just help finish off the boss. 1.5 million. He's basically dead. Nice, that's our first 20. Keystone Hero, Uldaman, Legacy of Tyr. I was a little scatterbrained there at the end of it, but it all worked out. What loot spec am I? Am I still protection? Yes, I am. Okay, let's see. And I get jack shit. Oh boy. Today was a very long day. We had some very rough runs, but I am happy to say that we have now timed our first 20, and I feel like that's going to be a breaking point where people are going to start more quickly joining our groups and inviting us for 20s. It's going to be hard to host every 20 key. I have a 21 Underrot. Should I run the 21 Underrot? I don't know. We'll see. I think I'll run it on 20 just to get all my 20s done for this week. So I'm just going to immediately, before I even get the chance to change my fucking mind, I'm going to go over here to Lindormy and drop the key. There we go. Now it's a 20 Underrot. That's what we'll be doing next in the next episode. For this episode, I am freaking done. There have been some very toxic players in my group today. I'm thankful for the fact that I have a chat block because some of the things they said to each other have just been horrible. I haven't been flamed. Nobody's been flaming me. They've been flaming each other. When they make mistakes, they'll just go at each other's throats instead of just shutting up and playing the game. There was one very, very timeable Neltharus 17 that the healer, I think, left on the last boss because the entire group was just infighting. I mean, I didn't say a goddamn thing. I think I just said bloodlust. That was the only thing I said to them during the run, which was on the third boss. And yeah, I won't reiterate what happened there. You can just, if you've watched the video, you saw what happened. But it is time to update our rating down here in the bottom left corner. We are now at 2337 rating, and our best run is a plus 20 Uldaman. We have done 34 runs? Ooh, I actually don't know. Let me check real quick on RIO. Ooh, boy, am I wrong. We actually have 35 runs. I did, of course, start more runs than 35, but I just ended up leaving some of the dungeons, so it doesn't count as a completed run, or rather, it doesn't count as a run on RIO. And I'm just going to count the ones that are on RIO. So right now, RIO says I have a 35 total runs. Oh, but yes, that was a rough day. Honestly, I wanted to do more than just 120 today, but you know what? For the first 20, that'll do, pig. That'll do. I am actually really happy that I started using Mirror of Fracture Tomorrows instead of running the Anvil, because with how much shit I tried to do utility-wise, having to think of the Anvil as well, it's just not going. Especially on fucking Bursting Wake when I can't find the priest to save my life. Have I done a single run with a fucking priest? I don't think I did. Actually, no. we had the priest in the Neltharus run, but he wasn't having a good time, I don't think. I think he was a bit rusty. Maybe he came back to the game after a long time or something because he was struggling to do, well, just about anything. His MDs were a bit slow. His mechanics were a bit slow as well. He just wasn't having a good day. Let's put it that way. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he did okay. He just needed, a bit of a break, honestly. I noticed that people who get flamed just play worse. So I don't know why people who insist on flaming someone who's obviously doing poorly keep doing it, because you're not going to make that person play better by flaming the bejesus out of them. And you're also not going to time the dungeon if one person rage quits. So I don't get the point of flaming people. But yeah, I've been recording for way too long. In the next episode, I'm hoping to get a bunch of 20s done. We'll see how it goes. Ideally, I would get this entire week in 20s. That way, next week we have a very good chance of actually finishing the whole series. I think it's a pretty good chance that we get to do that, especially if we stop having runs where people disconnect or leave or AFK or rage or whatever the fuck. I've been having quite a few of those today, so I'm just tired of it. Anyway, that's enough complaining of me. If you enjoy this salty fucking episode, make sure you drop a like. Let me know what you liked about it in a comment if you feel so inclined. If you keep checking these videos out, even though you're not subscribed, please do consider changing that. I'd appreciate that a lot. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Oh, Jesus Christ, what a fucking day.